only been on using the patches now for about 7 months. When I first started, about 3 years ago, I had a car accident, and I was diagnosed with a herniated disc. And everything went fine up until about a year ago, I guess, or maybe a little bit longer. And I started hurting. My legs felt like that they were rubber bands that had been stretched as far as you could stretch them. I couldn't walk to the mailbox without being in excruciating pain. And I am very active. When I before I turned 65, I actually did a 100K bike ride. So being active was my way of life. I just, I couldn't imagine just sitting and doing nothing, but I was in so much pain. That's all I wanted to do. And the orthopedic surgeon told me that it would happen. And he said, in 2 to 5 years, this pain will come back, and you'll have to have the procedure done again. And I didn't want to do that, but was about to call to get that done because I was hurting so bad. I couldn't do my jobs. Just like I said, walking to the mailbox I would end up winded because I was in so much pain. It just took all the energy that I had. I even went to physical therapy for about 3 months, and it did absolutely nothing to help me at all. So my friend Paige introduced me to the patch. I hadn't looked at any videos. I didn't know anything about it, but I trusted Paige. So she just gave me 5 days worth of just the X39, and I didn't know any better, so I wore it going to bed. The next morning when I got up, my pain level was down by about 80%, and my mobility in my legs, which was huge, was up about 50% at that point. I remember thinking, you have got to be kidding me. This little bitty Band-Aid did not do that. And of course I started watching all the videos and started learning everything I could about it. And I haven't stopped yet. Every chance I get, I'm learning something. But there was so many other things that started happening. I'm a diabetic and have been for years. My doctor and I have been working on my blood work for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And we could not get my thyroid back into normal range. My cholesterol was out of whack. And my diabetes was up to, the AC1 was up to 10. At one point, it was actually 11. And no matter what I did, nothing seemed to help, on it. So, after being on these patches for 6 months, I wanted to go get my blood work done. When I, went to get it read by the doctor, she walked in and she was absolutely blown away. She said she was so proud of the improvements that I had done. Everything was in the normal range except for my diabetes, but it had dropped by 2 points, which is huge. Because come to find out, I have a form of type 1 diabetes and not type 2. So it was huge that it had dropped down by 2 points. I've had so many things that just as I go along through month by month, things are changing. My hair started changing colors. I started getting darker. And I have arthritis in my hands, especially my thumbs. I no longer take the glucosamine for them. And I probably should take it, but I wanted to see what the patches would do for it without being on glucosamine. And now, 7 months later, I very seldom have any kind of problems with my thumbs at all. No pain. Once in a while, I'll get a twinge, but that's about it. Scars that were surgical scars from 55 years ago have flattened out. My skin is so soft. I have people tell me all the time how great my skin is. That didn't happen before the patches. I had sores on my arms periodically. And I never really thought much about it. I thought maybe it's old age. Your skin gets thin and you start bruising real easy. And I had a really bad one that was on my arm. And it started going away and disappearing in about 3 days. And that was unusual. It would normally take about 2 weeks for them to go away. And I never really attributed that to the diabetes, but I think it is. I think it's the diabetes. And now I can carry grocery bags, and very seldom do I get a bruise on my arm from it. So I'm like the lady before, I can't stop talking about it. I feel like that God has given me such a huge blessing and a gift. He gave me my life back. And I would not be much of a Christian if I didn't share this with everybody that I know. So that's what I try to do.
Wow, Penny, what a story. From, I mean, not being able to walk to the mailbox. Like, I did you hear that? Like, her legs felt like rubber bands. Like, that must have been so hard. And I just want to know, you put that X39 on and you wore it to bed, and like the next day you woke up with less pain and mobility. I think she was one of the one patch wonders, Stacy. Now, not everyone feels something right away, because a lot of times the stem cells are going to go and fix what you need to live first. But for Penny, it did. So that's pretty exciting. And I love the sugar down 2 points. And that makes sense that the symptoms of the sugar would cause wound issues like the sores. So that totally makes sense that you're getting your sugar in control, and the bruising and the sores start to calm down. Like, it just is all so good, Penny.
Oh, yes, I am so very grateful. You just don't know. So, I like to tell my sister's story if we got a minute.
We do.
Okay. She was diagnosed in December with stage 4 colon cancer. Her oncologist told her that there was no cure, that all they could do is keep her comfortable. She did a lot of things. She cut out the sugar. She increased her supplements. But she did the patching between her chemo treatments. She would be on chemo treatment 6 days out of the month. And the days she wasn't doing chemo, she would do the patching. Her attitude was fantastic. She never believed what the doctor told her. She never accepted that. And that is so crucial for people that have cancer. But 4 months in April, so I guess it was probably about 5 months that she'd been using the patches. One of the things that she will tell people, you can't say that the patches did anything to do this to the tumor, but she can say that it helped her tolerate the chemo treatments without the side effects. Now, the very little nausea, no tiredness. By the time she finished her chemo treatments, Saturday morning couldn't come around fast enough for her. So in April, she had another PET scan and another CAT scan. The CAT scan showed that there was no discernible sign of the tumor at all. It was gone. And the PET scan showed a little bit of residue in the bottom where the tumor had been. So the doctor wants to do surgery, which I wish he wouldn't, but that's what he wants to do. And I feel like that the patches is a tool that God gave to save my sister's life. I wasn't ready to lose her.